to our channel, my dear family and friends. Very good to see you. Good to be seen. And I think things are progressing. Yes, I apologize for yesterday. I think that Google put out this thing called Gemini or something, and it was like, it's like if you don't have scammers, you'll be scammed by the people who are bringing you the whole show. It's just it's the insanity of the moment for the Matrix. But I think I've at least put them off for a while. Gemini, this, like, they're going to help you with your Windows and all that good stuff. Anyway, we survived it. It happens. The news today, I think, is really spectacular. I think things are going on in an amazing way, and I think everyone should be really pleased. I'm going to also touch on some of the things that I thought there were some great posts from yesterday that I didn't get to show because I couldn't share last night. I had all these glitches. The January 6th thing, I was listening to Pam Bondi and Kash Patel, and was it Kash Patel on that one? Yeah, they, it's it's never too late. It's never too late for the world to do the right thing, and this is huge because everything they've tried has backfired on them. This is a huge sting operation. So the White Hats allowed these people to do all this stuff. Like January 6th was a total scam, and now it's coming out, and now the real arrests are taking place. Also, Trump yesterday, President Trump, with the car thing. I saw today that Toyota just released a plain old truck, a light duty truck for 14,000 or 20,000, whatever. That's what a truck should cost. 10,000, 20, $15,000 for a truck. I mean, it's insane, all the gadgetry and all these things. But this was all perpetrated on us by this deep state criminal organization, and that's what we're coming to find. And they continue with the chemtrails. And I saw a thing with RFK Jr. and he says, I think it's DARPA. I think DARPA's. Can you imagine a government that the intel division, the most, the highest level of intelligence on the planet, that they spend their time trying to kill us with various methods, medical things, now chemtrails. It's absolutely, it's unimaginable. A normal person cannot understand this kind of behavior. It's so far beyond the pale. I think that's the expression. But everything is coming out. All the things, the shadows, everything is coming out of the shadows, and the Somalians in Minnesota. Everyone has to be in their home country to receive the Jasara funds, from what I understand. So everyone should be self-deporting. I saw a thing where a Muslim woman was complaining about a Christmas tree. I'm like, you know, I'm just, she says it's not haram. Meaning it's not kosher for them. I'm like, so what? Get over it, or leave. And I think this is happening. I also saw Daniela told me something about Hamas has backed out of trying to govern Gaza, which is huge. That is a deep state. That is the Hamas is a deep state. Parts of the Israeli government were in league with, Bibi, in my opinion, was in league with Hamas, which is unfathomable as well. That the leader of Israel could, it could allow what happened on October 7th to happen. That their allegiance is to this satanic organization, which is absolutely outrageous. But that's what we're dealing with here. And hopefully enough people are waking up to this idea, to the fact that This is a gigantic criminal organization. So I'm just going to go pretty fast because since I kind of feel like I'm a day behind with the information stream, and I want to show some things. I also want to remind everyone, Brian Best's coffee, small batches, man. He does it in his house or in his little shop. It's amazing. His latest version, his latest package is Wyatt Earp coffee. It's just spectacular, great coffee. He practically picks out every bean. It's really amazing what he does. And he also has a coffee shop in Prescott, Arizona. He's just an old friend, and I like to encourage people to. He's also online. You could order his coffee online. Oh, I didn't put the chats on. That's why I'm so lonely. I would rather be seen than viewed. Rather be seen than viewed. Yeah, Rumpelstiltskin. Yeah, I seem to remember you. Good evening. Are you back? Are you civil now? Have you done your tshuva? Have you catching love? Yay! Thanks. Yeah, because I'm doing it at different times, a little earlier than usual. The lately. I don't know if Rumpelstiltskin. It was rather obnoxious in the past. I don't know what he's up to now. But let's just nip this one in the bud, man. I mean, okay, let's just deal with this right now. Okay, so Rumpelstiltskin is gone before he can start telling bathroom jokes or anything. So I want to start. I really want to get to these things, but I want to start out with just I want to show you our latest where we're holding with the house today. Danielle and I worked really hard. Are you good? How are you? Good to you and your lady. I'm number 47 from the old days in the kitchen, love and light. Hey, thanks, Tim and Adam. Tim Adams. Tim Adams. Yeah. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for finding us again. Yeah, we're doing great. I want to show you. I just bragging rights. I want to show you what I worked really hard today to finish, or not to finish, but to put in the fourth window. Let me just show you how cool it is. And again, these are all used sliding glass doors I got for $50. This is not like $1 million house, but this just shows you what you can do if you put your mind to it. Okay, so these are our windows now. I mean, we just, and I framed around it's my house is actually, or our house is actually an octagonal structure, but you can see how beautiful it is with just with pieces of glass that people were throwing away. So I thought I would share that. It's just so beautiful out here. Also, let me share. I'm going to share one other thing. This is a view of our. We reset the window in the bathroom. This is our bathroom now, but we put this up. This is a sliding glass door that we got for $50. We put it on its side, so you can sit here and admire the. We're going to have a tub here too. That's the plan. But it's just it's so exciting to be alive, and it's such a nice experience to be able to move forward with whatever you're doing. You need a bouncer. Yeah, and if anybody wants to do it, I can. I think on this platform, I think can I. Are you having problems? Is there problems on YouTube? Sometimes I don't see all the posts on YouTube for some reason, but if it's looking good, okay, cool. Yeah, if there are any trolls, just let me know. Cooksville, Tennessee. Cooksville. Isn't Cooksville near Kentucky? Isn't that north of Nashville, Cooksville? I think so. I think that's where I used to live. I used to live. No, maybe it's Clarksville. Maybe it's Clarksville. I'm not sure where Cooksville is, but I used to live north of Nashville in the country. It was so nice out there. I loved it. I like to live in places where you can walk and see things that you would never expect to see. How are you, Justin, to Arizona? I'm liking it. Yeah, I miss New York as well, but I really like it here. It's just down home. It's easy. the prices are much. It's much cheaper to live here than it is in New York, and that's a big plus for us. And we have a place where we can buy meat that hasn't been shot up and all that. It's pretty cool. Octagonal, yeah. Um, actually, it's a kind of a weird octagonal because I added on the bathroom is like a V shape that it's kind of like it's kind of like a I don't know how to describe it, but it's sort of octagonal, but it does have a weird extra room that I added in the back to put in the I wanted the toilet to be sort of separate from the house. Anyway, it's really fun to be able to create. I have a huge cache of lumber up here of a dunnage, which is lumber that nobody else wanted. I got it for real cheap. It's all crooked and stuff, but I make it work. Really fun. I think, I like the weather. Danielle seems to remember that the winter was cold. I remember that the winter was incredibly mild. It's cold here in the desert in the summer as well. I mean, Daniela also doesn't remember that, but it's very pleasant. The nights are very very cool, but once the sun comes out, it's really radiantly wonderful to work out here. And actually, this is the best time of the year to work because during the summer it's really too hot. Gets too hot to work. Land taxes, I don't know. I don't know about taxes, man. I don't really deal with that right now. Maybe someday I'll have to deal with it. I don't know. I don't deal with taxes so much. Um, they say it's voluntary. I don't know. I wish it was. I wish they wouldn't tax me so much when I go to Home Depot, but I don't go there so much because I can go other places and not have to pay tax. Okay. Yeah, so that's it. So let's go enjoy the journey. Yeah, the journey is so nice. That's really the key. To have a project that you love working on, to have all your tools spread out like near where you're working, and to be able to leave them out at night and not worry about there's no like dew here, there's no moisture, so it's a very exciting place I think to live. It's dry, it's a desert. You don't know cold and oh yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. This is not cold. It does not. We do not get a frost up here. I'm at 4,500 feet, and it's doesn't get super super hot in the summer. It doesn't get like Vegas hot or Phoenix hot. It gets hot, but it's not unbearable. And in the winter, it doesn't generally. I mean, we got a few frost days, maybe like one or two last winter, but it generally. I have my hot water heater out basically outside, so a freeze could be kind of it's not going to happen. If it happens, I'll keep something dripping, but it's wonderful to be exploring and to be alive. And I have to say, again, that these patches, man, the X39, I'm wearing SP6, which is good for your endocrine system, that these patches really keep us healthy and spry. I mean, I'm 70 years old and I'm working like a teenager out there, jumping around on ladders and screw guns and lumber and digging. Oh yeah, we dug. That's what I did today. I also dug into my garden. I extended my garden a little bit. I have all the gray water, all the water that from the showers that we take, and the dishwashing goes into my new garden area. And but I don't have any real plants there yet. I want to put some fruit trees there. Is Gila coming on Sunday? Gila is coming on Sunday. Yes, she was going to come on Thursday, but now she's coming on Sunday, and we set it for, I think, 6 o'clock my time, which would be 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So I'll try to be fairly timely with that. So yeah, Sharon the party queen, cool. Yeah, man. Big Daddy Webbs, yeah, baby. We're rocking and rolling out here on the desert, and I'm just loving it. I love the views. I love the peace. I love the little creatures that we see. It's just a great place to live, and you can you can get by here without being I don't we we find ways to do what we need to do. Like I said, those sliding glass doors were $50 a piece, and they were dirty and sitting in a yard somewhere, and we converted them into like million it looks like a millionaire's house, with those big glass things. But that's the look that I really wanted when I came out here. That was what I was looking for, and I couldn't find it in a regular house, and the regular houses were just too expensive anyway. So we're ending up building our own. Yeah, Gila is Sunday, and I should be broadcasting fairly promptly around 6, which is unusual for me. Sometimes it takes me a while to psych myself up. Is it possible to buy your patches outside of America? Absolutely. It's worldwide, man. You can get the patches. Oh, yeah, let me just put up I wasn't able to do this last night. Let's see. Uh, yeah, Let's do this one. Right. Yeah, absolutely. It's absolutely possible. It is a worldwide phenomenon. It's been, 20-year-old company. They have all kinds of clinical proof to show that they're doing it. And the inventor is just a totally cool dude, man. He was like looking into Genesis at the gematria to find patterns for his inventions. I mean, the guy is so cool. He's looking at lobsters because lobsters apparently live forever. They live for a very long time. And he was looking at the DNA in lobsters, and he's very into the idea of infusing light into water. He's coming out with a water machine that's infused somehow with new technology, infused with light molecules. I guess you would call them molecules, right? The light particles, to somehow incorporate them into the water molecule. And he's interested in the idea of putting light into food. He's just a cool dude, man. I mean, I love this guy. He's come up with these out of the box inventions that big pharma would have squashed instantly because they actually work. I mean, this stuff I mean, in my experience is just, I know that I would be almost crippled with back pain from the kind of work I do every day. I mean, I'm lifting and rocks and bags of dirt and I mean, and I can tell that if I didn't have these patches, I would be in a lot of pain. If I didn't have these patches, I would be napping all the time with exhaustion. It's just like I'm out here, like it could be the air when the chemtrails aren't here. That also helps, but I don't think so. I think it's really the patches. It took me a couple years to figure it out, but it's a worldwide thing. You can reach Dr. Stacy and order some, but it's all over the world. Yes, absolutely. So I recommend. What? The promotion. Yeah, and there's a 15% discount on aloe vera, which stimulates your pineal gland, and is good for your skin. There's a 15% sale for like another couple days on the skincare products. The skincare is really cool. I really like it. And aloe vera, which is a patch that opens up your pineal gland to some degree. I tried for the first time last night a patch called Silent Nights, and I slept through the night, and I had really cool dreams. Like, not cool dreams, but just like dreams. I had dreams, and they were interesting. They were kind of puzzling, but so the aloe vera also is a nighttime patch, but the silent nights is what I think is even more powerful than aloe vera for sleep at night. And if you're taking drugs from the Rockefeller medical community, if you're taking things for pain, there's also a patch called Ice Waves, which is good for pain. You just put the patches on your body. I find the X39, like I said, with my back, the X39 just it it the pain isn't completely gone, but it's like it doesn't I can't explain it, but it doesn't hurt. It's like I know it's there. I could still feel it. And I'm also a little bit old school for my father, who was like a World War II kind of dude, Eagle Scout, and just a great guy, really mellow dude. But he told me, he said when you get old and you find a part of your body that's not working well, use it more. And I know for me, man, if I'm not straining my back to the ninth to the 10th degree, I don't feel as good. I feel like I really, I flourish with the exercise and the pushing myself over, beyond what I would, in other words, not to baby yourself, like my mom says, who's 95. Old age is not for sissies. That's one of her favorite expressions. And she says it's in such a mild way, like, yeah, old age is not for sissies. She doesn't say it like, but yeah, it's cooking in the sun, and Big Daddy West is getting monsoons. Big Daddy West. Oh yeah, Big Daddy. Yeah, over in Indonesia. Yeah, we're enjoying very nice weather, very pleasant winter weather. It's going to be in the 60s next week. It's all about the sun. The sun is just it's just we're out in the open, and now we have an enclosure. Now we have an octagon around us, which helps quite a bit to mediate the sun's rays. Anyway, let me go to some clips from yesterday that I think are, but yeah, call Dr. Stacy. She's quick, she's easy. You can call her or text her from anywhere in the world, send her an email, get some patches. She'll tell you she's she's amazing with this stuff. And she's not a big talker. She'll just like say, what, okay, and she's really smart and really sweet, and she'll get you she'll get you what you need. And it's there's a three patch system called Y Age. I think it's glutathione, carnosine, and Eon, which reduces inflammation. These are miracle patches. They're just amazing. Anyway, I really appreciate everyone who's been brave enough to try it. It seems out of the box. A normie could not. We've tried to share this with family members, and they're just like, they can't. They want to take a pill that makes them sick, and then they know they're they're on the right trail. Okay, so let me go to some of these things, but I'm saying, like, in general, the news to me is really upbeat with Trump, with the cars, taking all these restrictions off the cars, so you can buy. I mean, I have not been able to buy a new vehicle. I want to. I want to buy a truck for 15 grand, man. That doesn't have. I don't need computers. I don't need cameras. I mean, cameras just mess me up. I just need a truck. I need a vehicle that will, when I go to town and I want to buy a 4x6 piece of glass, I can put it on my truck and go with it. I mean, you know, in the part of Arizona that I live in, I've sort of joked about this. It's just kind of that the little things that ride around with four wheels that don't have a big bed in the back. I don't even know what those things are anymore. It's like, I'm like, what is that thing? It's got wheels. Is it a bike? It's not a bicycle. It's got four wheels, man, but it doesn't have a bed behind it. I mean, what the hell is that? Why would somebody want to run around in something like that if you can't haul a bunch of, what do you call those things? The If you can't haul a bunch of the wooden platforms. I mean, the whatever they call them. It's just, you can't even, you put a bag of dirt in your truck. My father used to do that. He used to drive like a I think we had a Rambler, and he would put like garbage cans full of dirt. He would go down to the municipal thing where they'd give away mulch, and he would put dirt in it. But for the rest of us, man, trucks are us. It's like, okay. Anyway, vitamin D is powerful medicine. Yeah, too. Sunscreen was the worst thing. Yeah, that's what they're saying. Rumble's working tonight. Yeah, I think it was an attack from this Genesis, not Genesis. Um, this weird Google thing, or maybe it's a scam. I don't know. Anyway, whatever happened, I called Restream. I mean, I sent messages, pallets, right? If you can't haul half a dozen pallets in your vehicle, what the hell good is it? What are you going to do with it? You're going to go buy a milkshake. We go sometimes and get coffees, big coffees, but too much useless technology on the new cars. Yeah, it's like driving a spaceship, man. I walked. I tried out a new Tundra. I went in New York. I went to Tundra. It was like 60 plus $1,000. It had cameras. Why do you need five cameras? Why do you need all? I just want a truck. My Jeep. My Jeep is fancy. We have a fancy Jeep, but it's a used Jeep. But I'd like to be able to buy a new truck. Now, the light trucks wouldn't really get it for me. I mean, we could have a light truck as a second vehicle, but I really want like a truck that can, that where I can put 10,000 pounds of stuff on my trailer and just zip up the mountain. That's what I want. I have a King Ranch one. It's a one Ford 150, but it's a pretty good one. But it's got 120,000 miles on it or something. But that thing kicks ass, man. I mean, it really does the job. I'm probably okay with that, but I just it you know I'm I have truck envy for all the people who have 350s and 250s. I think that it's like that's until I have one of those, I'm not a real redneck. I'm just like a wannabe. It's like, okay, I got this 150. I'm from New York. I'm not really a redneck, but I want to be a redneck. But that kind of thing. Get an older one. Yeah. Well, I have an older one, but yeah, I have an older one. Our cars are one car's from 2009, I think, and one's from 2020, which is, but yeah, but we should be able to. Things should be affordable. A car should be affordable. Groceries should be affordable, and they will be soon. How soon? I don't know. But it's directions, not dates. And getting back to like the thought stream and the news thing, we're coming to D5. D5, remember 5 years ago or 6 years ago, 5 years ago, we all thought that was the Avalanche where they're going to start arresting people. Well, they just arrested the January 6th bomber. That is huge. He was probably an inside dude. He was probably working for the CIA or the FBI. And they're arresting these people publicly and they're making a big deal about it. The Epstein thing, the Epstein thing is so big. Okay, so let me go to a little show and tell, like audiovisual aid. Where are we holding? Let's see. I have 145 people. That's pretty cool. Um, uh, oh yeah, a SIA. I remember that. Right. I haven't been doing a SIA. It just didn't work out for me in the long run. But the LifeWave patches really, I really think they're amazing, and it's so out of the box. I really dig this inventor. The Navy SEALs hired him like 20 odd years ago to improve the quality of their life because they were all taking speed and coffee and everything. And he got them. Invented this the energy patches, which are great. But if you're taking these, I want to take a X39 and X49. X49 is for those who are really buff, really big dudes like me, all 5'7", 140 pounds. Like I want to have like the kind of chest, like, yeah, I catch Daniela looking at, she's looking at football games, and she occasionally, she has, I see her sometimes like looking at watching videos from the Liver King, man. I want to be, like built like, a regular redneck, I mean, just without the belly. Anyway, Asia didn't do the promised thing for me, right? And of course, these patches are different. I can see that. Yeah, the patches are pretty phenomenal in my opinion, but it's not a quick fix either. It is once you um it took me 2 years to realize how great these were. It took me like almost probably 3 years, and then I realized like, wow, when I don't have the patches, I don't feel the same. It just gives you an extra zing, and it whatever. Okay, but again, I thank everyone for doing it. I take the LifeWave X39 or 40, and you love it. Yeah, I want to get 49 because I'm just taking X39 now. But like I said, I want to be more buffed up because I don't want Daniela looking at the Liver King, when she could be looking at me. But the Liver King, really? Okay. So, yeah, right. Am I jealous of the Liver King? Maybe a little bit. Okay, But anyway, all right. So, yeah, the LifeWave, the 39 and 49. That's a great combination. It's really a great combination, and it will change the vibration of your life. At least it does for us. All right, so let me go to some of these cool things. This is from yesterday because I didn't really get to say it, but they're just the news from yesterday for some reason was interesting, very interesting, different. Today I don't see so much, but yesterday there were a couple clips that were really good. Took me a month in X39, right? But the ice wave worked instantly. Yeah, if you're in pain, man, do not take Tylenol. It'll hurt. It hurts you. The ice wave patches are good for pain. Thanks for saying that, Linda. But yeah, the ice wave. I haven't used it, but Daniela keeps it in the medicine cabinet. It's the kind of thing. Why have a bottle of Tylenol that's poisonous, basically, when you can have? Can I say that on YouTube nowadays without having without like handheld missiles being fired at my, yeah, it's probably, but yeah, ice waves are, if you have pain, take the ice waves. I think X39 is also good for pain. Alavita also is very good for pain. The SP6 for endocrine systems, glutathione, carnosine. There are all kinds of patches that Dr. Stacy once asked David Schmidt, the inventor, how many patches he had on. He had like 20 patches on. This is an incredible new technology. It puts nothing into your body. It just reflects your own light back at you. Okay, so let's go to some. Okay, but here's the basic premise of what I'm thinking. D5 5 years ago is we thought it was December 5th, and it could be December 5th, and it's probably December 5th as well as D5, which is a level of avalanche. So what are we experiencing now all these years, 5 years later? We're experiencing an avalanche of information coming out about these bad boys. It's it's way beyond anything that a normal person can understand, that a murderous criminal, crimes against humanity, thieving bunch of worms, not even I don't want to insult worms. I like worms, but a thieving bunch of conniving evil parasites are running the world. They were running the world, and what happened was the white hats put them in. They let them. This is game theory. They allowed the deep state to do what they do best, which is destruction. They can't create anything. They don't have, like Obamacare. What was Obamacare? It was like 10,000 ways to steal every last dime you had, right? And ways to traffic children and this kind of stuff. So they can destroy, but they can't create. But you and I can create. We're creators. We are gifted in that sense. That's our birthright. A 97 Dodge Ram 250 with oh, you're gonna I'm getting truck envy now, man. A 250, man. I'm dealing with a 150, but somehow I get by. We have a truck low mileage, bought too much money, but got it, and it's good. Prices have come way down. Yeah, I think they have come way down. I'm a yeah. We're pretty happy with what we have, but I want the monster truck, and I'm surprised to myself after not owning a motorized vehicle for 2 years, doing everything on bicycle. and I was always kind of thinking like I'm going to the West Coast to out into the boonies somewhere, and I'm gonna need a truck. But I said I'm not really like a truck mechanic guy. Now I'm just like, hey man, there's something mechanical. Let me learn how to do it. Yeah, out here, I'm in the middle of nowhere. No one's going to help me. I have to do it myself, and I like it. I like this kind of life. I know Brian Best. He likes this also. He likes to do stuff. Okay, so let's go to some, but D5. Okay, so it's D5. So there's an avalanche of information. This January 6th thing is a very big deal because that really turns the whole narrative on its, it tips it the other way. The seesaw is tipped the other way. Now people are starting to see, well, wait a minute, what really happened, what's really been going on. And they got it all. They recorded everything these bad boys are doing, and they thought they were untouchable, so they were outrageous. The child trafficking, the drug running, the money laundering, all this stuff that's been perpetrated against mankind was out in the open, and they were recording it. Now it's payback, man. It's FAFO. Okay, right? Fuck. Yeah. Okay. I got it right. See, yeah, I'm not, I'm kind of like, my intelligence like range is like, I'm high on some things, and then like Danielle, it's just she's like, you can't even find your socks. Basically, she's constantly minding me and just saying like, I'm outside like walking around like this, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I don't remember. What was I supposed to do? And she's like, "You're putting in a window now. Come on, go." She reminds me of what I'm actually doing, but if left to my own devices, I'm just quite. It's quite likely that I'll just, given the chance, I will just stand there and stare at the scenery for as long as the sun is shining. And then she has to come out and say, "What are you doing now?" And I'm like, I don't know. I'm looking at you. It's so beautiful here. How could you not?" Okay, so but it's D5. It's Avalanche. So we have January 6th. We have new trucks coming, man, that don't have all those fancy frills and chills that nobody really needs anyway. It's a refrigerator in my truck. I mean, I don't want a refrigerator in my truck. Well, actually, that would actually be pretty good. Why don't they do stuff like that? Because I always have to carry a cooler when we go to town to transport stuff. So yeah, stuff like that would probably be useful. But all these computerized gadgets, and I can find out the altitude of where I'm holding, and how many degrees my truck is going up at any given time in my Jeep. I don't really need that stuff. Anyway, yeah, Danielle's definitely in control. Haven't you figured? If you're in a long term relationship and you haven't figured out that your woman is, yeah, she for sure, man. And I don't mind because I understand that. I understand, like, I need somebody to sometimes. I need a lot of times for somebody to just remind me like that I'm in the middle of doing something, because I could I'm a guy, and I could just space out and look at the mountains for a long time. I could just stand there like a deer in the headlights. I'm just like, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. I have no idea. What was I supposed to do?" "Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Right. I was going to dig out yeah, I was working on the garden. Right. I forgot." Right. Okay. It's okay. I don't mind. The Brunson case isn't dead. Right. Either is right. 2020. All these things are coming out. Exactly right, Melody. I agree. There's a lot of stuff about that. Let me go to two of these posts that I think were really exciting from yesterday. Okay, this is one that I tried to explain yesterday, but I don't think I really captured it right. But everything around us has been scripted. The governments, the elections, the speeches, even the news. What we've been living through isn't politics at all. It's a global psychological operation designed to control perception and keep humanity asleep. The curtain is finally falling, and the actors are losing their lines. The movie we live in. For decades, the illusion of democracy was maintained through theater Every historic event was rehearsed, staged, and broadcast like a Hollywood film. The goal was not truth, but obedience. Those awake saw the inconsistencies. Identical phrases, mirrored storylines, repeated coincidences. It wasn't chaos, it was choreography. Operation Mockingbird, our mind as the battlefield. The CIA's Mockingbird network controlled global media for generations. It dictated what we believed, who we trusted, and what we feared. Every opinion we thought was ours was planted by repetition. We weren't informed, we were programmed. The fake inauguration that changed everything. On January 20th, 2021, the world watched Joe Biden's inauguration. The sunlight on camera didn't match the weather data. Shadows fell in impossible directions. Experts confirmed the scene was pre recorded. Reports later surfaced that it was filmed at Castle Rock Studios in California, not in Washington, D.C. The White House we saw on TV was a set. Glitches in the matrix. From Biden's hand passing through a microphone to identical extras repeating across news feeds, the simulation keeps breaking. The production was never meant to face scrutiny. Here's the key: the same Hollywood machine that created propaganda films now fabricates political reality. Why it had to be this way? You cannot tell people the truth instantly. It must be shown. A sudden revelation would destroy social order. The movie was created to awaken the population slowly, using the same system that once deceived them to reveal the deception. I want to just take a slight break here. When they're talking about the movie, let's take it. You all got the information. Just call Dr. Stacey. Get some patches, and thank you for doing it. Uh, the movie, they're talking about the movie like I grew up at the tail end of World War II. I'm a baby boomer, at the tail end of the baby boomers, and every film, every movie was about the evil Nazis and the great American story. And it was, this film was, so Hollywood created everything that that the normies now believe is reality. And we believed it was reality. They had to do it this way. What they're saying is that the thing that, for me, that about this particular post, and I'm going to finish the end of it, is that we talk about the movie being the White Hat movie, or at least I think of the movie as like the White Hat movie. But in order to cut down a tree, you need to use wood from the tree, right? You need to make an axe from wood. So in order to counteract this effect of this long-winded narrative that that this matrix they produced, you need to counter it with another matrix, with another set. But what they're saying, it had to be this way. We had to go through it, like the vaccine thing was. People still don't really understand what happened. It's hard to understand. So let me go back to this thing. Let me go back to that post and get the second page. Why it had to be this way. You have to show, not tell. President Trump's counter move. Executive Orders 13818 and 13848, also 47 US 606, quietly gave the military power to seize assets of traitors, prosecute election interference, and take control of mass media in the name of national security. The true battlefield is not land or airspace, it is the screen in front of us. Central casting and body doubles. President Trump's phrase, Their straight out of central casting was not casual. Many politicians and experts are literal actors, paid to maintain a collapsing illusion. Multiple versions of Biden have appeared with different ears, voices, and gestures. The doubles perform, the real figure is gone. The global stage. It's not just America, across Europe, Canada, and Australia. Identical operations unfolded, cloned narratives, synchronized scripts, and manufactured heroes. Celebrities, anchors, and world leaders are being replaced by digitally simulated, while the original networks of control are dismantled behind the scenes. The end of the script. When the lights go out and the truth is finally revealed, there will be no announcement. No media outlet will ever say it was all a movie. We'll simply see it. The empty sets, the recycled faces, the silence from those who used to speak with certainty. We were never a spectator. We were the audience, the target, and now the witness to the greatest awakening in modern history. From Guardian Daniel Allen. I salute you, Daniel, for that. That is a beautiful post about the movie and the nature of the narrative and how we are kind of running on two trains. We have the old train and the new train, and only one train, according to like 107, right? Only one train, like Casino Royale, will end up churning down the line. We have a lot of trains in Kingman. There's a railroad that goes through here, so it's really kind of nice. I don't remember in Long Island if there were, I guess there are trains. Yeah, there are a lot of trains, but not like there are out in the country. So it's a movie, both on their side and on our side. Let me go now to another post from yesterday that I think is worth visiting. This is from, I believe it's from Brian Cates. No, let's see if, okay, I'm going to go here, right? Wait, what happened? Wait a minute. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, share this, right? Take this one down. Now we're going up to this other post. I like this. If you ever feel low, remember there's an ancient death cult whose plans for total world domination are being derailed by a bunch of autistic frogs. Okay, that'll cheer you up, right? Um, Breaking. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac just got the green light for the biggest IPO in history. That's interesting. I want to check that out. Okay, here we go. I think this is the one I want to see. Yeah. Okay, Brian Cates, political columnist, organized crime nation. What would it look like if, until January of this year, a transnational crime syndicate had been actually running almost all of our federal government, but not all of our military, and an outsider they'd already tried relentlessly and frantically and with increasing desperation and furor to destroy by some arcane act of wondrous sorcery and wizard like magic, returned to power in the White House and began fucking all their shit up. And the hidden world they'd so carefully constructed in our midst began to surface, despite all their frantic efforts to prevent it, spin it, hide it. A hidden crime world based on illegal immigrant labor profits. Profits generated inside this hidden crime world by illegal labor, illegal human trafficking, illegal drug smuggling, trafficking, child sex, adult prostitution, gambling. A hidden illegal crime world they managed to keep out of sight when they had full control. But this outsider and his dream team cabinet have spent the last 10 months artfully and deftly kicking the ever loving shit out of the hidden illegal crime world's infrastructure so that it's beginning to surface, where we can all see it and we're starting to realize the awful truth about this hidden illegal immigrant crime world in our midst. There's a lot more of them than we thought. This is another point. I mean, this is just such a brilliant, in my opinion, just a such a brilliant uh, summary of this insane crime syndicate. These are murderers. These are crimes against humanity. These are not like, oh, some doctor made a mistake. No, the chemtrails were just, well, they were just exhaust from airplanes that were making X's in the sky and using whatever the vibrations to whatever. Okay, so let's go back to that post. This is not, what I'm saying is, this is not accidental. This is not somebody made a mistake. Okay, this is a very important point. There's a lot more of them than we thought. Most of them are working jobs we'd never expect them to be in. We've been robbed for decades to not only transport these 50 million plus illegals here, but to put them to work as they replace us, but also to feed and house them while they are here, as they send billions of our dollars back to their home countries. You're going to be confused about what Trump and his dream team cabinet have been doing for the last 11 months if you don't understand the great decoupling from this transnational crime syndicate began in earnest just this past February. They were able to hide from you what they were doing until this year. They had machinery and apparatus in place to keep it hidden, like Dominion software and Dominion machines, to cast illusions and to distract and spin any issues that managed to surface. To keep their hidden illegal immigrant crime world out of sight, Trump took their funding away. Like the SNAP program has been, revoked in all the states that won't give us the information about these immigrant tallies. Trump wrecked their illusion casting distraction apparatus. He's always calling out the fake news because they cannot maintain their illusions. The hidden world is beginning to surface. Certain people are growing increasingly desperate to prevent you from seeing what Trump and his dream team cabinet have accomplished. Are accomplishing, and will continue to accomplish into 2026. It's okay. They can't stop anything because nothing can stop what's happening. Isn't life grand? Okay. Hey, nice house of cards you got there, Washington, D.C. Be a real shame if somebody destroyed it, right? Carolyn Levitt, Trump administration uncovers massive foreign trucker illegal license operation in Minnesota. But this is what I was trying to express last night, and I didn't have all my bells and whistles. That you and I, who have been studying this, tend to think of this as there's some really bad dudes, man, and they need to get arrested. We haven't focused on the 50 million illegal aliens in our country, that this is how they're perpetrating this madness against us, that this is part of their criminal enterprise. It's hiding in plain sight. So I salute Brian Cates. I think that was a brilliant summary of where we're holding. It's happening. We are taking back our world. It's not a country thing. It's our world. They are exposing these people. I mean, President Trump exposed big pharma, and when he makes, this is kind of drives me nuts as a digital soldier, or as a person who has tried to understand what Q was telling us, that um, Right. I lost my train of thought. Because I had the thought that, well, wait a minute, maybe if I say that I'm, that I've been studying the Q information, that makes me, to some people that would make me seem like a complete, you know, um not a person you would want to listen to. But this is the thing, that they, part of their machinery was to label us as QAnon, and there is no such thing as QAnon. There is Q, which is a military intelligence operation, and anons, people like you and I, who are trying to spread the information that cost us so dearly. It cost us all our family relationships. It cost us jobs. I mean, I had to move. It's just, it cost everything that I had worked so hard for 25 years to establish myself as a public school teacher, against all odds. I was wearing a yarmulke, and I was practicing Orthodox Yid, and by all accounts, I should have failed miserably. And I spent 20 years fighting not the children, not the wonderful souls of the universe, but fighting these administrators and these creepazoids, and feeling like nobody understands what I'm fighting against. People would say to me in my community, like, how do you do, are your students black? And I'd be like, I don't know. I never thought of it that way, but they'd be like, how do you deal with Crips and Bloods and all these, and I'm like, I don't have a problem with them. I have a problem with these administrators. They're criminals. The Department of Education is run by a bunch of self-serving criminals that come up with all these things to rip off humanity. And I went through that for 20 years, and I had no one to talk to, and I used to drive people crazy on Shabbos when I talk about how they tortured me that particular week, how I got another letter in my file, and they chased me because I wasn't down for their program. I wasn't a big, I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting. All this interesting. Wait, I lost the chat. So I was talking too much. I got into. But Whereas Gila, yeah, Gila's going to come on Sunday. The evilness was in all the world, right? That this the line. One of the lines in there was saying, "We did not know how many of them there are." But now you're seeing everything turn around in Venezuela. The bad guys, Maduro and his henchmen, are giving evidence of what was going on, because this isn't really about. These are just central casting. These guys, they're handsome dudes, and they run the country, but they're just actors, like they're saying. These are not legitimate people. Gavin Newscomb. I mean, he's not a. He's an idiot. He's an actor, and we've been led to believe. I remember I was at a protest a couple of years ago now already, and one of the newscasters from a major network was there, and I was looking at the guy. I was like, that guy's can't be real. He's like too handsome to be human. When God closes one door, he opens another. Yeah, well, we went through a couple of bad years, but yeah, no, I'm not. Yeah, Melody, I totally agree. Yeah, but I mean, listen, I'm not complaining. I'm not saying I was. It was liberating for me. It was like musical chairs, and I got to leave the room while everybody was, trying to find their chair. I was like, I'm out of here, man. Goodbye. And it was a great. It was I'm still having dreams. I'm still trying to process how, and I'm angry. I'm angry at my former community, because I really believe that my peeps in Crown Heights were so intelligent and so wise and so godly, and they sat and they learned Torah all day, but they were idiots about the vaccine. They were like, the Rebbe said, go, trust your doctor. Can I say this on YouTube now? I lost 14 channels for saying these kinds of things. I don't know, but whatever. I don't even want to go there. But the point is that we had to be shown. We had to be shown, and a lot of us have lost, lost a lot and gained a lot because the things that we had were not real. I mean, I saw this community. I was like, you guys are the smartest people on the planet, and you can't figure this out. All the big rabbis were running to the doctor, getting their boosters, and I was like, really? You think it's okay? They're like, oh yeah, it's okay. The doctor says the doctor's Jewish. Why would he? I'm like, really? You know, it, but we had to be shown this. We had to see the corruption at the highest level. I hope I haven't destroyed my YouTube. I mean, I got this channel back. I lost literally 14 channels. I got one back, and I'm using it now, and I really like YouTube. It makes my life a lot, it's a lot more pleasant because it's a more advanced platform than Rumble. No offense to Rumble. Rumble's been very good to me. They've never given me a problem as far as canceling me, but the world is run by abject criminals, and we had no idea. We just figured this is just the normal world, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. And you also, it's very hard for us to understand, why don't other people see it? Why aren't these incredibly intelligent, worldly, loving rabbis, why are they missing this? I still laugh. I mean, I've told this story many times, but the guy I chose to sit next to in shul, I went to a very, like, I would never join a club that would have me as a member. I went to, like, people were saying, like, why don't you go to the Balashuv shul, which means the shul where people who are just really new to Orthodox religion, go, and they're all like, cool, it's kumbaya, and yeah, hey brother, man, what's up, how many LSD trips did you take? It's like, I like your tattoo, this kind of thing. But I chose a very conservative, really, like, a mainstream, old timey synagogue to hang out at, and the guy I chose to sit next to was the most cantankerous, just like Archie Bunker, like a Jewish Archie Bunker. I was sitting there, and a loudmouth at the same time. And I was so embarrassed. I was like trying to fit in, and he was constantly like calling me out and asking me questions, like loud, in loud voice, so everybody could hear. So he went through this whole thing. He was overweight, and he smoked, and he went to the hospital during the COVID thing, and he came out. He's Baruch Hashem, thank God, he's still alive today. Why is he alive? Why is he alive? Why all these other people dropped dead? They were the remdesivir, all these, because he smoked. He smoked cigarettes. It's like you ever read that book? Gosh, what was that called? The Andromeda strain, or it's something. It was about that there was a virus in the world, and the only people who were surviving were people who were inhaling sterno, like bums who were getting a high off sterno, and they were like living. Anyway, he smoked, and they're saying now that nicotine kills nanoparticles, and it kills. And the reason that it's so highly dangerous and considers, I mean, I wouldn't touch nicotine with a 10-foot pole because I'm an addict, and I find it is the most addictive substance I've ever encountered. Much worse than heroin and cocaine is nicotine. But they're saying that it cures a lot of things. It's good for you, and in some ways, maybe if it's administered orally or through patches or whatever. But anyway, yeah, he smoked and he lived. I think it was called the Andromeda strain, but I can't remember the name of this book. And I think they made a movie out of it. But the guys who were inhaling sterno were surviving, and they were trying to figure out, why are these guys still alive? Um, tomatoes have nicotine. Yeah, tomatoes have nicotine. How interesting. How interesting. Yeah, because we grow our own now. We got the Cherokee tomatoes out here that seem to do well in Arizona if you're equipped to deal with the rather bizarre situation of having to shade your plants in the summer. It took me a while to figure out why is everything dying. It's like we're getting too much sun. I mean, who are in New York? It's like there's no such thing as too much sun, but in Arizona, you got to be careful. I chew natural tobacco. Um, ain't had a cold for 10 years, man. That's that's outrageous. I'm afraid of nicotine because I used to grow my own tobacco and I love it. I love smoking. Um, I loved smoking combinations back in the day, and it was, but tobacco and coffee are both medications that should not be used daily. Okay, yeah, I'm just saying that I'm not here to like tell you that you should be smoking, God forbid, because the truth of the matter is that like I would grow my own tobacco and smoke it is very different from smoking a cigarette. A cigarette is full. Yeah, if you just look at the wrapping around it, it's loaded with gunpowder to make sure it continues to burn. Why does a joint go out so easily, and why does a cigarette keep burning? Because it's those little rings are full of saltpeter, I believe, and all kinds of other additives that are not good for you. But yeah, it's weird though. It's just we live in bizarro land, man. But we're coming out of it. Let me just see if and again I don't know where dates. It's directions, not date. The direction we're heading in right now is fabulous. There's only good news coming out of the Oval Office, whether it's getting rid of the restrictions on cars to point that in the right direction. The car dealers are really suffering because people don't have lots of extra dough to put down for new Maseratis or anything. I mean, I think we will in the future. I don't really envision a Maserati. I don't think a Maserati would do well up here. I don't think I could make it up the roads, and I have no desire to drive around in a fancy car. My lusts are for like some kind of truck that, like, I really want a diesel truck that can haul anything. That's a super truck, maybe a flying truck that can haul. Maybe I just need a big airplane. COVID did affect me; it made me short of breath, but I started taking super beats. I felt much better. Yeah, that could be. I mean, I got COVID a bunch of times, but I didn't want to get vaccinated, and I lost my job. I lost my YouTube channel. I lost everything, but I wouldn't change a thing. I remember my union rep just like, why don't you just take it already? I mean, I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm not taking that. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, I don't want to belabor the point because I am on YouTube, but let me just look at some general news and then we'll call it a night. Let's just look at the general thought stream here. Okay. We're going to have a great Christmas. Well, that sounds great. Let's listen to this.
Things and together we rejoice. As we prepare to celebrate the miracle of Christmas, we thank God for his many blessings, and together we rejoice at the true source of greatness, happiness, and strength. The good news is that glorious nights 2,000 years ago, think of it, 2,000 years ago, it was indeed a glorious night. So I want to thank everybody here. I want to pay my deepest respect and love to all of our great citizens, like 350 million people. We love them all. Whether you like them or not, we love them all. We want to take care of everybody. We have to take care of everybody in our country. I want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and have a good time. And you're going to see some great entertainment. Thank you very much, everybody. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to say, so Israel decides to relinquish Gaza. I've heard that Hamas has decided to leave Gaza. How much longer? really we have to wonder, with all the additional attention to the geoengineer skies is receiving, will our governments bother to issue a statement, or are they simply going to play dumb, assuming our outrage will diminish? This is a huge issue right now. And I would not be surprised if this was a sky event in a sense. Q talks about a sky event. It's incredible that nobody questioned the tens of millions of five masts that one day just appeared, of these EMF. I don't know, these things in England. There's cutting them down. Oh yeah, these things, right? Um, Alabama residents overwhelmingly reject the construction of a new Muslim school in their town. Residents said they do not want to hear the sound of Islamic prayer and don't want to become the next Dearborn. Okay, that's interesting. People are really fighting back. What could go wrong? We must keep the spotlight on the subject. Please keep documenting the evidence. Uh, Pushing back. This is from, I'm not sure what this is, but okay, Canada euthanized a record 16.4 thousand people last year. Canada's killing thousands of citizens under the guise of mercy as the healthcare system evolves into a full blown eugenics program. Mission update: First County Vault insulted. The New York Washington State Territory will have a depository and ready to move with land out of the public and into the private. That's interesting. Breaking: the official Jasmine Crockett is being booted out of her current district. Now the Texas congressional map is upheld by SCOTUS. That was very good news about SCOTUS changing the redistricting rules. Tim Walz says people are driving by his house calling him retarded. I don't think he should insult retarded people, because Tim Walz is certainly not on the level of being retarded. Breaking: these three youths. I can't go there. Empire State Building tonight. Green light is no longer a symbol, it's a transmission, a warning to some, a confirmation to others. The sky above New York isn't just glowing, it's pulsing. A frequency shift you can feel in your bones. Every minute the signal grows stronger. Every minute the grid tightens. Every minute the old system loses its hold. When a building of power turns green, it's not decoration, it's a declaration. The next phase is already moving. Um, this guy, I'm not crazy about him. COVID was planned years in advance. How do we know? Uh, Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth are putting America's military in untenable and horrible situations. I don't. I will always say. I think that's just, the liberals are like, this is war. This is a war. So if two or more people attempt to conspire to overthrow, put down, or destroy by force the government of the United States, they shall each be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 20 years or both. Okay, so they're all going to jail, man. They're all going to Gitmo. The production of an ultra compact truck, which wasn't previously allowed in America. Excuse me. Since we are getting loads of new information here, it's a military program. Our planet is involved. Don't think for a moment that geoengineering isn't excuse me, isn't everywhere. It's all over the place, and it's a crime. Jasmine Crockett is expected to be pushed out of Congress after the Supreme Court allowed a redrawn district map that would shift the seat towards Republicans. Um, okay. Breaking: a school in the Midwest gave a federally funded vaccine to a child despite a valid state exemption. Now his HHS has opened an investigation. This was not a mistake. It was a direct violation of parental rights and medical consent. Accountability must be swift. Okay. Cleveland becomes Muslim, the quickest U-turn ever. I don't know what this is, but let's watch it just for fun.
I think you'll know who I joined.
Are you now Kareem Abdul
I
Jablevland?
am Kareem Abdul Jableveland.
Hey, you know Muslims can't drink alcohol, right?
I am Cleveland Hurricane Carter. I think you'll know who I joined.
Okay, whatever. Um, Jeffrey Zients, a former White House chief of staff, admits he did not personally approve use of the auto pen. There was no clear chain of approval. Adam Schiff, Liz Cheney, Jack Smith, and Mark Milley will face the justice they deserve. All the pardons are null and void. All voting machines must be melted down and turned into prison bars for the criminals who cheated in the election. All right, so I think again, it is directions, not dates. You can see the direction where all this is going. We're heading for the promised land, man. We got this, right? We live in Alabama and moving here. We live in Alabama. People are moving here from California, New York, right? Because Alabama is a cool place. I've been there myself, and I love it there. A little too much. I can't go there because of it. The whole point of calling him retarded. Yeah, yeah. I don't. I mean, generally, so-called retarded people are usually much more humane and wondrous and loving than regular folks. So I wouldn't insult retarded people that way. Um, Jasmine Crocker's vile. Yeah. I was a special needs teacher, and I was constantly battling with the administrators that they were like, "Well, you have to teach them academics." I'm like, because I was a math teacher, I was like, "Fine, but why?" Why? But that was the program. It's like I'm like, man, these people are on a higher spiritual level. The people I'm teaching, the challenged people here, are on a much higher level than I'll ever be on. And you want me to torture them, not just teach them, but torture them into learning things that have absolutely no relevance to their life. Auto pen around that face, fuchsia, tongue out, yeah, hugs, and I don't know anyway, the direction that we're moving in is phenomenal, and everything is being exposed. Everyone, there's a D5 avalanche that we're just picking up speed now. The one piece that is missing and the is the economics. We're all struggling financially. I don't know when that's going to turn around, but I think it is being turned around, and I think like all these other things, it can't it can't come as a shock. That's not a good movie. When okay, the EBS is coming and XRP goes to the moon, that is does not make for a learning experience. That's something else, and that's why it's interesting because uh, David White, Gold Eagle, he's been and Mr. Poole have been saying the EBS is coming, and but now they're kind of like going back and they're saying like, I know a lot of people that have been like, it's coming, the RV, that's another big scam, I think. This RV thing about bond holders, are going to be called into this special meeting with people and given millions of dollars and non-disclosure agreements and all this. I don't see it, man. I just don't see it. And I know a lot of people have been really hurt waiting for the call. They're going to get millions of dollars for their dinars and dongs and all that shit. But and it could happen, but it's going to happen naturally. Everything is going to happen naturally. I do not, if listen, if this was going to be a shock and awe event, it would have happened during the rollout of the vaccine. They would have just said, "Okay, man, this is illegal. This is corrupt. This is murderous. This is," and they would have shut the whole thing down. But they wanted us to. It's necessary for us to go through this learning experience so we grow, and we become the creators that we were always meant to be. Alabama, Lower Alabama, man, Bay Area. Yeah, I know it's beautiful down there, Anton. I was up in the north. I was up more like Georgia, Chattanooga area. I had a bunch of buddies up there. They would not do shock and awe all at once if they did the whole Biden puppet show. Yeah, exactly right. I salute you, Trinity. That because they could have done this at any time. They could have said, okay, they could have ripped the mask off of Biden and said, this is an actor, and we're just playing. You know, April Fools, it's that's not. This is a learning experience, and for a lot of people, the only way to really get to them is to break them financially. It might be to really break them and just have them just like I'm working three jobs and and I don't know. I'm not saying that that's the situation, right? I think Trump, when he says it's going to be a good Christmas, but it is not dates, man, and we have gone through just November 22nd, the ISO 222 coins came into. I thought I was going to wake up the next morning and be a multimillionaire, and it will all be over, and I could get the fancy window. I could get somebody else to install the fancy windows, which is not really what I want anyway. I want to do it myself. I don't need, it's so this is an opportunity to really use your resources, really experiment with your ability to manifest. And I think that you and I will be able to lead the rest of humanity into another state of consciousness, which is what this is really about. That's what I get so frustrated by people who are saying, well, November 22nd, we're going to get the RV next week, and Mark Z just told us again that it's all coming. There's no question about it now. He's been saying that for 5 years, and everything is kumbaya cool. But it has to play out in nature. It has to be natural. It may be till 2030. I don't know. I know people who drive people nuts to say that. But if you look at the direction, if you realize we are in a totally different situation than we were a week ago, 6 months ago. I have to remember here, like where I live here, and I think to myself, holy mackerel. I can't believe where I was last year in terms of like, we were just getting our solar system in line, and we didn't know where on my property we were going to live because there was no flat space, and we were happy to find out that we had heat in the RV, and every day is a miracle, and every day you move forward. And if you're focus ascension, if you're focused on the goal, like today I went out, I spent a couple hours digging in my new garden. It's just a theoretical garden now. It's just like a ditch in on my property with some water, PVC pipes running through with the gray water from here. But I've filled it with the only mulch I can find out here, which is like dead cactus things. And because I know about plants. I know that plants love messy. They don't like like clean little dirt. Like I grew up in the suburbs, and the gardeners would come and blow all the leaves away. And my father would be like, "Why do they do it? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? The leaves are what makes for great." I mean, and my father would keep all the leaves, and people would try to sue him because he had a mulch pile in the back corner of his little property. He had a leaf pile where he was making his own soil. This was back 50 years ago, and people were freaked out. But yeah, it's anyway. But so just like the soil, just like in my garden, I understand that it needs air and decomposing things and scraps from our kind of like things that we put in the garden, like coffee grinds, and not the filters but the coffee grinds and banana peels and stuff like that. That a garden, like a people, need this kind of chaos and mulch that we're experiencing in our day-to-day lives. We're watching the world. We're seeing through the illusion that everything's okay and everything's under control, and we're watching the mulch being prepared as the matrix falls apart. As the house of cards dissolves, the dominoes go down, and we feel, we see the direction of where we're heading, which is we're heading for the promised land. So with that said, I think tonight I'm going to play. I didn't get to play Leaving the Matrix. I'm going to play this other song because it has a little more somber feel to it. But the idea that we paid for this, we're becoming wise by going through the fire. We're not becoming wise by suddenly, Big Brother, Donald Trump has a major announcement. We're waiting for a major announcement, like, we've been the major announcement that we're looking for, that, but it's not happening like that. And yet these are major announcements, and that the highest level of godliness is in the physical world. And the fact that he's taken off all these rules and regulations around cars, where cars will be returned to what they really do, that it's like the world will be function and utility, like XRP. Why is XRP not worth more than Bitcoin? Because the world hasn't really transformed yet. When the world, in my opinion, when the world is transformed and we destroy Bizarro World, we destroy what do they call it on Stranger Things? The upside down. When they totally annihilate the upside down, then XRP will of course go to the moon, because it has a purpose. It does something. Right? Just like me, I really enjoy doing things. I don't want to hire a crew to come up here and build me a mansion. I don't want that. I wanted to build my own house. And I by trust and faith and just doing the next best thing, I'm really on the way. I mean, I cannot believe that, we're coming to finish the walls around our house. And a couple of months ago, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to afford lumber for this. I don't know how I'm going to afford a trailer to haul the lumber. I don't know how I'm going to do anything. And slowly by slowly, all these things came into effect, not in an overwhelming way, but through nature. But we manifested this with our desire, in my opinion, and you should be doing the same. And it's all good. So yeah. So let me play this tune. This is called New Morning. And like I said, it's written about when I went through a heart opening in the South. When I had been a contractor, a remodeling contractor in Long Island, New York, and I was just broken. And my relationship had fallen apart. My kids had problems, and it was just a devastating time for me. And I left New York. I went back to Nashville, where I had gone when I first dropped out of college back in the early 70s. I went back to Nashville to kind of find myself again. And one night I took a bunch of hallucinogens, and I ended up on the front porch of a beautiful woman. And she and Sparky Brown just said, you don't have to live like that anymore. You can live. The South is just so organic. It's just, people in the South, they don't. I mean, I'm sure you have elite classes in the South, but that's not where I ended up. Anyway, I just want to play this song and just think about how beautiful it is to be awake now, and how beautiful the direction and everything is really going for in a really good way. So enjoy the song.
Waking up on the front porch, Sunday at dawn. The night was hotter than hell and forever long. I can see the first light breaking through the trees. I feel the changes in the cool breeze of freedom, and it's a new morning. It's a new morning. it coming, hiding in plain sight. Banksters taking power, stealing our lives. They were looking to bury us in debt, shame and fear. But our roots grew stronger as we reached into the air with freedom. Freedom. And it's a new morning. It's a new morning. With each day we're rising up in this world with the power of love, with the power of peace, the power of joy, the power of truth, and the power of freedom. And it's a new morning. It's a new morning. It's a new morning. It's a new morning.
Well, thank you for all the beautiful comments from everyone. And it's great to see everyone again. I mean, it's great to be back and have be able to communicate like on this platform of YouTube. It just makes it a lot easier. And I'm using Restream again. It's should I can I count on this being forever? I don't know. But anyway, we're way beyond needing to like have assurances or insurance of that everything's going to be, because we've learned to navigate in difficult times. We it's like things don't always work out the way you want to, but it usually ends up much better. So anyway, have a great night, and just keep being you. That's the main thing, is just remember what you were as a child, and remember your dreams, and remember and live your dreams, and it's never too late to have a happy childhood. So may the force be with you. May you realize that you are Neo. You are the force. You are the one. You can create whatever you want. May source be with you. May you realize you are a creative force of source. You can do whatever you want. And thank you everyone for coming. Thank you for supporting us with LifeWave. God willing, we'll see you tomorrow. I don't know, it'll probably be some kind of weird time, but God willing, I'll be able to pull it off again tomorrow. But let's get out there with a big smile on our faces and